Hi there, and welcome again to AVtransfers UK, showing you another completely redundant, retired, and no, not me, video format. Let me paint the picture for you. It's the 1990s, and little old Howard, who's got a lot more hair on his head and probably just as handsome, is trundling around the mall in South Africa and sees something very interesting. "What is this?" he said as he grabbed... Okay, we're going to stop talking in the third person. That's just weird. "I saw this." Ooh. Okay, now, whether or not you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, I'm somewhere in the middle. Some of his stuff I like, some of it I don't. I saw this and I thought, ooh, that's really interesting. Now, being a youngster with a very limited budget, this got me quite excited. I think at the time this was something like 50 rands, which was probably in today's money £30, I guess, if you had to translate, 30 years later. And I thought, what, I'm going to really get some cash together. I'm going to buy this. I want to see if I can play this on my 486 DX66 computer. So I got it, and I couldn't play it. I had to get a Mpeg card for my computer to play back Mpeg 1 video. Now, that is as far as I got, and I think I bought one or two more of these titles, but it was basically the first digital video format that was vaguely commercially successful. It was a bit cost prohibitive, and the players were, well, impossible to get where we were, but they were available in Europe and America. Of course, I'm talking about the Phillips CDI system, which is what we were introduced to first. There was also the video CD system. There are some differences, and I'm sure there are better videos on the internet about what the technical differences were. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to tell you about my experience with them. So I saw this and I thought, whoa. So I grabbed it off the shelf. In those days, you actually had physical discs, sometimes even still inside with a little security thing inside. And wow, not only was it a really cool disc, but I'll open up the other side. Double. So similar to a Laserdisc. Instead of it having two sides, it had two discs. And wow, on a CD, video CD, let me just take that out and show you. And pretty cool, pretty cool. So after that, I kind of, really got into the format, and I started figuring out how to author these discs, which weren't technically CDI discs. They were VCD discs, but it was one of the first services I offered where people were still converting from, NTSC VHS to PAL VHS and things like that, because people didn't have multi-system VCRs. I started doing this, and I think I was charging 89 rands for an hour, up to an hour on a CD. Whoa, very exciting. And that's what I did for a couple of years, and there wasn't much take up for it, but it was interesting. So, okay, that's kind of done and dusted. DVD came out a couple of years later, and we all know how that went. And in fact, DVD recordings are still with us today, in some form or another. So I just kind of thought to myself, this is very rarely an original disc that I bought. So this is actually a disc I have had since new from that shop I spoke about. I've never gotten rid of it. It's been always sitting in my CD collection. And I got to say, it's kind of cool to have a movie. Now, there were a lot of pirated movies that were made in, I think, Malaysia and those kind of places that looked the same, but they were not Phillips CDI, they were VCD. And they were basically inferior for a lot of purposes, but they were a form of software that you could play in your CDI player, provided you had the digital playback cartridge, which is another thing we'll talk about. So anyway, going forward a bit, I've been scouring eBay, as I do. I'm a terrible eBay scourer. I mean, I've got boxes of things that, I have to review. I don't know when I'll get to them. My only requirement now on eBay is if I buy something, or any other auction site, and there are a couple I buy from Buy-E, and I buy on Amazon America, and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure we all do. it must be working. It must be working, restored, because I've got too many things that I need to fix that I'm just never going to get around to. And I've got projects and things I want to design and build of my own. So I'd rather spend my time and energy in that. But right now we're talking about video CD, and this was sort of running parallel to Laserdisc. So we showed Laserdisc in a previous video, and that again is something, well, you either get it or you don't, I suppose. But here are some more titles. So these are ones that I've collected subsequently on eBay. This is Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country. Which one was that? Oh yeah, was that the one? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a CDI. So then there were also some interesting, I don't know if this is a video CD of dinosaurs. We might just try that out quickly. I'll try and play something that is not too copyrighted, and we'll have a look at the player as well. This is a video CD I got, which is really interesting, Pop and Wave. So I'm a big music video collector. I've got a lot of music videos from the 90s, because, you know, when hi-fi stereo tape came out, that was like the dog's biz. And this is obviously one step up because it's digital video, and you'll see some really interesting clips on here. There's things like Frankie Goes to Hollywood and ABC, Adam and the Ants, Culture Club. Okay, well, we can do without that. Art of Noise, I love this stuff, and so on. So music videos. Now obviously this is a retired format. This thing is dead as disco, so it even looks like a normal audio CD, but actually it's a video CD, compact disc digital video, which is very interesting. So on a CD's capacity, and interestingly, PAL, NTSC and CCAM, there were no zones on these discs. They were interplayable, even though they were generally NTSC resolution of 320 by 240. Yeah, so there's another title. So basically, if you're going to collect these, personally, the CDI titles, in my opinion, are more valuable because they were 100% legit, and you didn't have to sort of wonder, is this kosher format? But then again, these all seem kosher, but are they? I'm not sure. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. If you wanted to exercise on interactive disc, you could get the Kathy Smith's Personal Trainer. You know, I think somebody actually brought me this on VHS, and they wanted to digitize it so that they could watch it on their exercise to it. But anyway, a nice memento of the sort of things that happened, or what was out in these days, in those days. Sorry, I wish I could speak English properly sometimes. Quigley Down Under. You got to love the stash. Shame. Sean Connery, The Hunt for Red October. And, oh, here's an interesting one. Robert E. Lee and the Army of Northern Virginia. This video CD is compatible, and it looks like, obviously, towards the end of the video CD craze, there was a bit of overlap between Phillips CDI and video CD, and they sort of made everything play in both. I know that some CDI titles won't play in video CD players. I can't remember the exact reason for that. There's a lot of extra stuff in them. But now, after yacked ad infinitum about this, I'm going to show you 1 or 2 little players that I've got that do playback and how they differ in some ways. So let's take a look first at what is a pretty sexy machine. Here's the remote for it. The Phillips. It is a matchline. It is the CLD-210. I believe these machines suffer from various age-related problems, much as we do. This one seems to work, or at least last time I switched it on, it did. So let's take a look. But here is the remote, and it's got a little joystick. I think this was for games or for interactive video, but there you can have a good look at that. And you could control your matchline TV. Oh, those were nice TVs, the 100 Hertz TVs. Action buttons. So it was definitely designed as an interactive thing. And if you bought this player off the shelf, it wouldn't come with a digital video cartridge. If you wanted to watch video with it, you'd have to get a video cartridge, which you then pushed in the back, kind of like a decoder board, or I suppose a daughter board is what they'd call them. Anyway, let's have a look at the Phillips, and stay tuned. So in my sort of office, there's a rack of stuff that I just like to keep. You know, I like to keep sort of rack equipment, and this is no exception. I think when I bought this, it was good, except for the fact that it had a bad belt in the drive tray. And there it is, CDI, not BDI, CDI. And if you put the TV on, that's what you will see. Phillips compact disc interactive, and we just got it on a very simple, oh, nice buzzing there, a simple Sony player. This outputs a PAL picture. So let's just see, very basic machine. Let's open it. Oh, okay, let's pop a disc in. So what should we put in? Oh, you know, let's put something in that's not going to really throw the copyright fairy into a mad tailspin. Let's have a look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Fantastic disc. Right. Yes, I'm filming this on my phone only because I'm too lazy to get the big camera out. And I do have big cameras. Okay, so pop the disc in. And up it comes with this thing. Compact disc interactive. Let's push play. Let's see what happens. I've never played this disc before, so you and I are both in a very similar state. Oh, check at that. Oh, listen to that high fidelity sound. Do you like that though? Look at that. Digital video from the late 90s, right? Mid 90s, late 90s. Phillips Media. Let's see what we have here. Look at that inside. Now we're doing an underscan here. If I do an overscan, let's just see if that's any better. Remember that. And there you go. Oh God, that music is absolutely horrible. So if you can imagine this music, this program being converted from probably a Betacam, not even an SP, probably just a Betacam tape, or SP maybe, but not a digital tape. This would have come off an analog master and been digital, and you can. So this is all the interactive stuff. Let me grab the interactive remote. Okay, check out how retro this is, right? I have to aim this remote at the machine. I keep forgetting it's not Bluetooth. So, you want a personal trainer or you want to be on your own? Let's just see. It's not a very responsive mouse. It's probably a bit knackered, to be fair. Let's go to on your own and let's push the button. Let's push action button. 1, 2, okay. Action button 2, looks like it is right. Okay. Let's do aero box, shall we? Sorry, I'm trying to film and do the actions at the same time. Now I'm just pushing buttons until it works. Oh, I see. Oh God, talk about overly complicated menus. Oh my God, this is why the menu system died. Okay, play. Come on, play. Oh, lordy loo. Look at this thing. Oh, come on. Am I pushing the wrong button, maybe? Oh, God. All right, let's just choose. Oh, I see. Select workout. God, this is a horror show, isn't it? Oh, God. Let me just push play and see what happens. Play, play, play. Oh, God. Play. Play something. I'm trying to select something. Let me just change hands. It might be easier. So, yeah, I'm not enjoying this too much. I can probably see in about 3 seconds why this failed. Because it's god awful. Which button do you push here? I'm on all the menu items. Just play the bloody thing already. Ask Kathy. Kathy, how do I play this disc? All right. It's just, there seems to be it's a very crude sort of version of what was to come. I can't say I'm double clicking. And as I click it, it just does that, right? So push the other button, does the same thing. Push the other button, does the same thing. Push the other button, does the same thing. So you'd think, okay, right, well, God. So I'll have to edit this out. It's getting too long. Oh, hang on. There we go. Select, save. Oh, maybe save workout. I mean, it's just like everybody was just trying to invent their own bloody thing. Oh, come on, come on. Yeah, I only have the patience of a gnat. So, you know, let's just put that to one side. I genuinely could not be arsed to actually look at that one again. Let's face it, it's a horror show, that disc. I mean, it's like, really, let's just put a movie in. Sorry, my patience. I just sat there struggling with it. I'm like, oh, you know, really? I don't need to relearn how to use a computer just to play this one disc. So, okay, that was the interactive. I'm sure, like I say, there's better videos on it. But I just wanted to show you what the interactive option was all about. Or wasn't. So there's a disc in there. It says compact disc interactive. Let's push play and see what happens this time. CDI. Okay, and now it switches to video. And I heard a little relay click, which is interesting. And here we go. Phillips Media. So there you go. So if you were watching this, I think on a PAL TV, you would get a lot more of these sort of pixely effects around the corners. Whereas if you watched on a NTSC player, you would get a more accurate screen size. It would stretch correctly. So I'm obviously not going to play the soundtrack of this movie, but just to show you a little bit of what the picture looks like. Let's just skip forward on this, if there's a way to do it. Let's just go skipping forward, and you can see a classic scene. What was nice about these discs is obviously they're pan and scan versions, and if you're a bit of a 4:3 TV person, you know, you'll appreciate the fact that nothing is letterboxed. But even this on full-size picture is actually not reaching the corners, because this is obviously an NTSC disc which is playing on a PAL machine. So you'll see there it is a reasonable quality, probably about as good as a good VHS copy. And certainly no dropouts. I mean, I remember at the time, for me, the fact that there was no dropouts was a big deal, you know. And look at this. How many years after this has been made is this still playing? I mean, this is the original machine, unrestored. And there it is, playing. Let's take a look at one more. We found one more classic. So what we've learned here is that if it's a Phillips CDI video CD, it will play in there. If it's a video CD, it should play in there, although I have to actually check that. But this player will only play video CD and video CD alone. So let's just try this one for fun. Isn't this a classic movie? Planes, Trains and Automobiles. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Oh God, did I say Christmas? So pop that in. And although that does have the PAL logos on it, which is interesting. So I'm wondering, this says made in Germany. Now if this plays in here, it means that it was done at the American standard. So obviously they got lazy and they started just duplicating the American versions of these instead of creating PAL masters. So I guess if you have these in a PAL master that doesn't play in a video CD, you may have something quite special, but also something quite hard to play. But there we go. Brilliant. So I guess I'm sure there's some art historians that would say, you know, that is going to be a classic design. I mean, that is a gorgeous picture. That is a really nice poster, isn't it? Let's just try this one. Basically, because it has the PG, the very European, made in Germany logos, I'm just going to check if this one plays full screen on this machine. So let's have a look and see. Oh, the sun is out today. I should take a picture of that. We've had such a lot of rain here. Anyway, right, so here we go. Let's see if we get a full picture on this one. Full screen picture. You see it straight away, you can see. So obviously this was captured at 352 by 288, and God, look at those blocks. I mean, this is not exactly a high-res monitor, and that's just plain offensive. Oh, you see, now they've gone for the whole interactive thing. Maybe we should all blame Philips for those awfully overcomplicated DVDs that came out with the interactive stuff, which never play anymore. There we go. There's a classic logo. CIC video. I guess if you were looking for a classic CIC video logo, you wouldn't find a better copy than off a digital disc like that. And there we are. Look at that, full screen. So again, we're going to zap through this a little bit and show you. That's actually, I would say, is a bit better. There's a lot of smearing on this one. Wow. I wonder why there's so much smearing on this one. It's a good movie though. I actually need to rewatch this. Maybe I'll watch the 4K Blu-ray version though on the projector rather than this one. I can't remember. Was this a true story? The Hunt for Red October? I think it was. Based on Tom Clancy. Oh, Tom Clancy. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, some things never change. Okay, so this says PAL TV, and I remember the Laserdiscs had a similar look, so definitely some overlap. Okay, let's take a look at the other video CD player. So who says I don't learn anything? Here is my other VCD player. This doesn't mean to say that a normal DVD recorder can't play a VCD, but this is an authentic player. This is a very interesting item. It's a Pioneer CLD-210, and what this is it's a karaoke Laserdisc player, but this came out at the point, or it was at least for countries where there was popularity in video CD. So this doesn't only play Laserdisc. This is a Pioneer player that plays video CD. But here's the funny thing. It doesn't only play one video CD, it plays two. Let me explain. So as far as I can tell, this is a single-sided Laserdisc player, but a dual-sided VCD player. Let me show you. I'll open it up. Inside, you will see the traditional Laserdisc platter and a real hodgepodge. Look at this. Dual trays for VCD. So you can put two discs, right, in here. Two discs in here. So you take side one, or part one, and part two. And there we go. Look at this. It all moves. Now let's pop that in. Isn't that a bit of incredible design? We'll put that in. Push close. Now it says CD. When you put it in, it says it's a compact disc. Now it says it's a video CD. And we push play. And there we go. You'll recognize that from earlier. The picture's a bit compressed because this is actually only a PAL monitor. It's not an NTSC one as well. But there you go. Look at that. And in fact, I'd actually go as far as to say that this picture looks better than the other one. There you go. So I just wanted to show you this. And let's see now, how would you change from disc one, from disc A to disc B? Actually, it may even be a dual-sided player. I'm not sure. Let's go to disc B. Compact disc play. Let's see if it goes to disc B. How incredible is that? So it actually plays both titles. It plays both titles of the disc. Go back to A again. So sorry, I beg your pardon. I think it is a dual-sided Laserdisc as well. It's a very unusual machine, you have to admit. I mean, like the karaoke stuff is rubbish, but it's got video noise reduction, VCDNR on. Oh, look at that. It actually does make quite a big difference. Look at that. Fascinating. And let's just open that up again. But now this is purely a VCD player. This is not a CDI player. And I'll tell you how I noticed this. I didn't actually realize there is a distinction, right? So here is the VCD. I just popped that, sorry, the Phillips CDI. Now, let's just pop that in there. Sorry, bear with me for a sec. That's a very famous saying here in England. Bear with me. Bear with me. Arr, bear with me. Okay. If you don't bear with me, I'm gonna bear all. I think it's something like that. Excuse my socks. We're very casual here. I try to play this one, The Hunt for Red October. Now, this is a PAL disc. And I'm not sure if it's because it's a PAL disc or if because it's a video CD player. But I do notice on this CDI disc, it actually says video CD on it, right? This one doesn't. So I'm starting to think that the European version of this is not supported, because when I put the disc in, it just says compact disc and it just plays. So there you go. So my money says that this player, or these discs that look like this, will not play in a VCD player, and these ones will. So if it says video CD, it will play. Let's try one last disc. So I guess if you've spent this much time with me looking at video CDs and CD videos, then you're either as confused as I am or as interested as I am. I think I'm a bit of both. Yeah, so thank you for popping into AVtransfers. Remember, I do all sorts of weird things, but I'm not just a video transfer guy. I'm just really interested in the different formats and how they all worked and where they all fitted in. And my understanding helps my clients with what it is they need to get. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video about CDI and video CD and God knows what else. Memories of movies, classic Christmas movies like this one. Have a super day. Thank you for watching AVtransfers UK channel, and remember to visit us on the web if you need any video digitizing done. We've got lots of stuff to do, Edith. And if you just want to just hang around and watch stuff or post a comment, we're always happy to hear from you. Have a good one. This is Howard signing out for now. Bye.